Hey, I'm gay,
I'm not so gay,
and
and
we're
we're
the
the
Gay
gay
Grumps.
grumps.
Hey gamers,
Hello. Right.
this is uh,
Yeah.
this is our fake ass LGBTQ plus ass PRs by me, Frubbles, and
Me, Perturbo. We based this off of a couple things, like hazards, removal, speed tiers, type charts, pivots, and how good your stabs are.
but then also some just vibes based things like how good do we feel like your offense is, your defense, your synergy? Do you have any anti synergy? That kind of stuff. So some of it was quote unquote objective, and the good amount of it was just vibes.
Yeah, just vibes. All right.
So, if you don't think that your placement is correct, first of all,
Cry about it.
we're fake. Second of all, prove us wrong.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. We will be showing off the rankings at the end. Right now, we're just going through them in order of draft pick. So yeah, let's go
Mhm.
on with our first team. Just
We
Hero.
got Hero,
Hero.
and so Hero went with the Zamazenta Crown first pick. That Fairy Dragon Steel Core is mean. Look at
Mm-hmm.
that. And I really like the hazards. I think Mega Diancie is one of the best offensive hazard setters.
Yeah. Removal is a bit rough though. Uh,
Yes.
not the best removal. It's Rotom Mo. That's kind of it. Like Dragonite isn't removing jack shit. Uh,
Yeah, you're kind of reliant on Mega Diancie to switch in to
yeah, on
hazards.
the hazards. Speed
But
tiers,
on the good
pretty good.
speed tiers are great. Yeah, you have good stab coverage. Um, but you don't have a good answer to flying and fairy type attacks.
No. Ursaring for 6 points is kind of insane. That that doesn't feel right.
I don't know why it is. Like
No.
it's not good.
And also, if you're holding
Um,
Eviolite, you can't hold an like a status orb. So yeah, no, I
maybe
don't.
they'll bring like a rest talk set. I don't know. I
Uh,
think the Terra Captains are pretty good. I quite like Rotom with Steel Fire Poison.
yeah,
Um, I think electric might have been good to tech in there somewhere,
yeah,
but there's nothing wrong with steel fire poison.
yep.
And then, of
Ursaring,
course, Ursaring, you have normal for the stab facade, and then fairy and fighting because that's just like
good, good
close
shit.
combats, and fairy is the best for normal.
Yeah,
Fairy is the best for a lot of types. Overall, I think this team has some strong strengths, but it has some rough weaknesses
yep.
as well.
I agree. All right, moving on to the next team. It's Dozoku.
Dozuko's biggest strength is definitely these pivots.
Lots
And
of
like you can see
pivots.
right off the bat, Mega Scizor, Rillaboom, Galarian, Slowking, first things to be drafted. You
And
still
then
have
yeah,
awesome pivoting with
Thunderous.
Thundurus, Claydol. Diancie has Baton Pass even.
Yeah,
So
you can't be using Diamond Storm that willy nilly though. Which, well, whatever.
oh yeah, because if you get a defense boost, you can't Baton Pass it. The hazards are good,
Yep,
and
great hazards.
the team's just fat. Like it's hard to kill.
Yep, almost everything is like just fat, and even like the faster ones, which are usually less fat, are still pretty fat. But speaking of faster ones, they're not very fast.
You kind of just have Ninjask.
Yeah, and
And
Thunderous, which is like not the fastest thing in the world.
yeah, the speed tiers aren't particularly spaced amazingly either. Um,
Hmm.
and just sort of the type chart leaves a couple things just open to weaknesses, like a ghost weakness and a bit of a water weakness.
That's the first I've ever seen a water weakness.
So it's just, and I think the last thing is not really something I can exactly quantify, but I don't understand what the game plan is here, other than just pivot, pivot, pivot. Um, which can be a punishable game plan.
I clicked U-turn 5 times in a row.
But hey, with those hazards, maybe you can pull out something good.
Yeah. Claydol, Ghost fighting Steel Terra.
I don't understand what fighting is for, but Ghost is nice for spin blocking, and Steel with Levitate, perfect combo.
Always good. Embor, Firegrass Dark, great. That's really good.
Yeah.
I would have liked Electric.
I wonder it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you could have fit Electric for that stab wild charge, but otherwise, like, I think Fire, Grass, and Dark are all great. Like, I don't even know which one I would take away.
Yeah, because like Stab Sucker Punch is amazing. Grass is good on fire types. Who would have guessed? And that Flare Blitz. Oh boy.
And then as for the Dugong's Electric Fairy and Ground Terror type, I don't know what you were going for. I'm very excited to see what this is.
It's Stab,
but I'm
Bolt, Beam,
confused.
Ground. It's Stab, Bolt, Beam, Ground. And Fairy.
I get, and Fairy is a good type, sure.
It's Dugong. It's Dugong.
Yeah.
It's Dugong. Right. Moving on. We have me. Perturbo. Moldy sandwiches.
So, a preface for both me and Perturbo's teams. We're grading this off of like our own impressions of what a good draft team is, and we think we drafted good draft teams because that's our own grading scale. So, bias incoming.
Obviously, we think that we drafted good teams because that's how we draft. Like, obviously. So, just keep that in mind. So, Frobbles, if you do the honors and judge me.
Yeah. So, I think Perturbo has some really good hazards with Earthworm and Iron Treads, Iron Moth. I think the removal is solid. Again, Iron Treads and Noivern are super reliable. Coco and Hitmonlee can occasionally run their hazard removal. Speed tiers, I think, are perfect. I think you space them out really well without any major gaps. And just the type chart, you're not really having many weaknesses. Like, I guess you have a couple fairy weaknesses you've stacked, but with powerful, like, Iron Moth and Iron Treads, along with a way to Terra Hitmonlee out of the weakness, that the type chart looks really good. And then, of course, Electric Terrain. Electric Terrain, good. Iron Moth, Iron Treads.
Yeah, I said good
Unburdened
instead of
Hitmonlee.
good. What is wrong with me? Double Fairy Dragon Steel Core,
I do think that's really funny that you have two fairies,
I
two
didn't
dragons,
even
and
I didn't even
steels.
think of it. I just ended up with it.
Yeah. As for the cons, though, the team is missing a few types that would be not necessarily better defensively, but some good offensive types like Psychic and Rock and Ghost. All could have been nice offensively for this team, so it lacks those stab coverages. It also has sort of awkward removal. Yes, we talked about how Iron Treads is good, but both Noivern and Tapu Koko's Defog removes the terrain, and Hitmonlee doesn't want to be running Rapid Spin.
All the time, yeah.
And then the final thing is it kind of has a hard time switching into fighting moves, because the fighting resists are not the bulkiest things. It's Coco, Iron Moth, Noivern, and Primarina. Like, if you have a strong banded close combat,
yeah, that's
Perturbo doesn't really have a switch into that. No ghost type.
A lot of things are gonna struggle. Right. The Terras were Fighting Dark Steel Hitmonlee, which I think is pretty standard. I would have put Poison over Steel, but Earthworm needs the Poison, so Steel it is.
I think Earthworm, I think a ground immune poison is insane. Yeah, poison. Earthworm having Poison, Water, Ghost is really nice. Just two bulky types and then one for spin blocking with its ability to vomit hazards. I think it's good. Wow, I think the team that I helped draft is good.
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy. Crazy how that works. Alright. Next up is Goose. Goose, disgusting fucking hazards, right? Heatran,
Oh my god.
Gliscor,
Yeah.
Galgi.
And it's a snow team. I just like the synergy with the snow. Like it doesn't commit too hard because you only have three Pokemon in it. It's Arctozolt, Slowking, Ninetales, but it's enough to be a menace and also not need to bring it every week.
Nope. It's great. Arctozolt is, Hail Satan, fan favorite. That's always fun. Oh, and also you have a Trick Room mode with Heatran,
With Slowking,
Arboliva, Heatran, Arboliva, Mega Mawile, obviously. Like, these are some good slow Pokemon.
yeah. I think like if you bring Trick Room one week versus a particularly fast team, it can really do it put in numbers. But speaking of fast, your team isn't that fast. It suffers a lot from speed issues, especially if you're outside of the snow. And even in the snow, Arctozolt isn't the fastest
Arctozolt,
thing
yeah,
out
gets
there.
outsped by like every Scarfer.
So you definitely need to worry about those speed tiers. Another thing is that your removal is
Sus.
basically just Hitmontop.
Yeah.
Volbeat is not exactly good. Sorry, Volbeat fans, but if you can't baton pass
Prankster,
Tail Glow,
Prankster, Defog is.
Prankster Defog is cool, but it can be blocked by Dark types.
And yeah, Gliscor running Defog is like the saddest shit ever. Every time.
Gliscor hates running Defog because it wants to be setting those hazards.
I've seen lot more of. This is a complete side tangent, by the way. I've seen Gliscor running Earthquake, Protect, Toxic, U-turn now. Like on ladder. It's so funny. They just don't run spikes.
It's just the most annoying thing ever. But the pivoting is nice. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then the last thing is that the offense is, while it's good, it's either slow or relies on some setup.
Yep. So like Mega
Um,
Mawile would love Swords Dance. Arctozolt needs Hail. That sort of stuff.
yeah, Ice Q needs to take a hit to be its fast form. Yeah. For Terra, Electric, Ice, Ground on Arctozolt, that's perfect.
Yep.
Like, no notes. Perfect.
Yep. Arboliva, Fire Poison Fairy. Great offensive types for Arboliva. Arboliva is just, the most perfect thing ever. I love Arboliva. But
Yeah,
also,
good.
losing your ground resistance to a weakness in fire and poison, like, yes, grassy terrain, but what if you're like having to switch in, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. Fairy's good. It's just like, I like the ability to take the close combats, the flamethrowers that you couldn't before with these Terra types, but I'm also like, where's water? Because water is kind of the best Terra type.
Sag. Alright. Next is Mental Mark. With the schnastiest psychic dark fighting core.
Yeah, I really do like the Alakazam Meowscarada and then Annihilate / Iron Hands core. You kind of just hit everything offensively like that.
Yeah, there's really nothing that you can't hit with these types. Well, Annihilate alone already is so scary, right?
Yeah, only walled by Hisuians or
Hisuians,
otherwise perfect coverage.
Hazards.
And then you also have just...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Hazards, just fucking amazing. Meowscarada, consistent. Gudra, consistent. Colossal, shitmon, but, like, still consistent, right? That's the thing.
Wait, does Gudra get Stealth Rock?
Oh.
No, it doesn't. Our document's wrong.
Oh, no,
Gudra
sorry,
get
that's
Stealth
not
Rock.
Gudra. Yeah, sorry. That's Annihilate.
Oh, that's Annihilate! The sprite looks like Gudra. Of
The
course it's
sprite
Annihilate.
looks really a lot like Gudra.
Um, but yeah, Annihilate is actually a decent rock setter.
Yeah. It has
Um,
U-turn.
I I like the speed on this team. You have Mega Alakazam 150 speed too. You're not outspeeding that. Meowscarada 123, great. And then Sceptile is not only 120, but can be used with Psychic Seed Unburden to just be the fastest thing on the field.
The fastest thing alive.
Um,
Yeah. Indeedee. So I see the vision with Indeedee and Mega Alakazam. I'm not sure I like it, but I see the vision, right? The vision is there.
yeah.
And just in general, Psychic
However,
Terrain blocking, the most consistent way to deal with these like fast Pokemon. Like it just removes that, and that's amazing.
yeah. However, I do think there's some issues there. You have a massive fairy weakness, and you even have a dragon weakness because not a single one of your Pokemon resists or is immune to dragon, at least before Terra.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, even after Terra, you only have Steel on Sceptile.
Yep.
Um, and then there's a big speed gap between Sceptile and Indeedee that can open the room for a lot of natures and a lot of extra EVs. And just overall, you're missing a couple important types. You have no poison type to absorb toxic spikes, no fairy type for dragon attacks, and then no ground type to absorb volt switches.
Yep. I think Mega Alakazam I think shouldn't be affected by Psychic Terrain because it's floating. Anyway, um, Colossal Poison fighting Dragon Terra. No water, no grass, no flying. That's weird. I don't know. I think that's just weird. Poison's a good type, but you're still getting hit by that 4 times into a 2 times. Ground weakness. Yep.
Yeah. I like the idea behind Dragon because you still resist fire and water, but I am still surprised that you have no water type or grass type Terra.
Or flying type Terra.
Uh,
Yeah. Sceptile, Acro Stab, Steel, and ground coverage. It's nice, but I don't know what the Steel does really.
yeah, it's much more of a defensive Terra type.
Maybe you just really wanted that dragon resist. But let us know. Make sure to let us know.
Yeah,
Comments.
overall, I'm very confused on what this team was cooking, but
We'll see.
maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Right, Fat Halbert with the Squirrel Squad. Amazing logo, by the way. Right.
This,
Amazing hazards.
look at that: Greninja, Swampert, Landorus, Jirachi.
And even
This
Webs.
team, right? Webs with Vikavolt.
Yep.
And you still even have solid removal with Wartortle and Landorus and Whimsicott. Actually, I remember you saying that neither of the Blastoise Squirtle teams had Blastoise, but this one has Wartortle.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think the scariest thing though is this offense. I have to face this team this week, and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Of this Dragapult, Landorus, Therian, Mega Medicham, and Greninja. Like, what do I even do? I lose. That's what I do. It's so heavy offense and fast, too. But it doesn't even have to sacrifice bulk to do so, because you have stuff like Landorus, Jirachi, and Swampert.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Drapult has plenty of stats to have good bulk. And stuff like Vikavolt is like surprisingly tanky, especially after Terra with those types. It can be surprisingly bulky.
Yeah. There are some weaknesses though. You only have one fairy resist. And your flying resist is you only have one flying resist, and they're both Jirachi. And while Jirachi is bulky, it can be worn down over time. So something like that can just keep moonblasting on it
Yeah.
will take it down.
Also, you don't have a
Um,
fire type. No fire type?
no
Um,
fire, no
no fire
fire.
type?
Um,
Uh,
and
yeah,
that's weird. This team kind of has trouble hitting grass types of all things because
yeah. Its best option
you don't
is
have,
Greninja Ice Beam.
yeah, specifically Protean Greninja Ice Beam, which is a very specific thing because you have to do it on the turn one it's switched in.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, looking at the Terra types, Spikeable gets Steel, Ghost, and Water. Those are just good. Steel for a levitating Steel type, Ghost for spin blocking, Water because Water is a good type. No complaints.
Yep. Fire Ground and
Um,
Fairy. These are like offensive types, right? Like Fire Ground, it hits Steels, and Fairy stab Moonblast, and also Fairy
yeah,
is a
I
good
guess
type.
this is your Fire type, Whimsicott,
Yep.
but
Whimsicott with
um,
however many
70
special attack.
something
Yes,
special
70
attack.
something.
77. Yeah, I'm not
77.
sure.
Dear Lord.
I know Specs Whimsicott is real, but I'm very unsure about these offensive Terra types.
Yeah. I feel like Specs Whimsicott is only real because Moonblast is Moonblast.
Yeah, that's why I like the Fairy type, but I'm unsure about the Fire and Ground.
Yep. Alright. Moving on to Frubbles. Alright. We
Well,
did like
yeah, you should go.
a internal scoring thing where it was like, just like completely based off vibes. And by complete coincidence, Frubbles got exactly one more point than I did. So yeah, Perturbo got ratioed.
Kind of a skill issue.
Yeah, kind of a skill
Anyway, since
issue.
this is my team, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah. The hazards are very good. Obviously Sandy Shocks and Ogerpon Spring and Metagross, they're all very good at setting hazards. Maybe Metagross doesn't like setting hazards at Stealth Rock every week, but that's where Sandy Shocks comes in. Removal is good. Mandibuzz and Crobat are incredible defoggers, and Tossagiri. Tossagiri is like a great spinner. I think Tossagiri was very undervalued at 4 points in this draft. Yeah, speed tiers are perfect. I don't know what else I can say. They're perfect. A lot of Pokemon here can get speed boosts. And just the gaps are just perfectly spaced. As always. Those are annoying speed tiers. I don't like looking at those speed tiers. They make me jealous. They give me speed tier envy.
I remember someone once DM'd me like, "I hate how you have the most annoying speed tiers every time."
Yeah, the type chart is very good, and pivots are below, like comparatively, not as good as all your other shit. But I mean, you still have like U-turn on everything and teleport, Porygon 2, and Volt Switch. Volt Switch Sandy, yeah.
Yeah.
Your stabs are really good as well. The only one you're missing is Rock, but like that's like literally the only one you're missing. So whatever, cry about it.
Yeah. I think if there is one weakness though, I have a rough ice weakness. Like if you come in with a Specs Ice Beam, I really only have Typhlosion, who I'm sometimes tearing out of fire, and Metagross. So that can be an exploitable weakness there.
Yep.
Speaking of Terras, so Typhlosion, Fire, Grass Fairy, I chose that to just hit hard, like massive eruptions, hitting water types with grass. And then Fairy lets me just have perfect coverage with Ghost.
Yep.
Funnily enough, none of those types can hit fire, though.
That is funny. No, that's very funny. Yeah. Tossagiri, I love the electric.
Yeah, that's a surprise tool that can help me later.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's a
going to say exactly why, but maybe you can guess
That's
why
a
I
su-
chose Terra
That's a
Electric.
surprise tool that can help us later.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, thank you. And Poison for obviously defense and Toxic Spikes because Crobat is there.
Yeah. Overall, I think I drafted a good team.
Yeah,
Wow,
good team.
me drafting a team that I think is good. Crazy.
Crazy. Alright, next is Yappo with the classic at Dex core of Great Tusk and Charizard Y.
Um, First things first, the sun is good.
Yes, the sun is
I
good.
really just like
The sun is a
how Mega
powerful
Charizard.
laser.
The sun is a deadly laser. Mega Charizard supports Roaring Moon, Great Tusk, and Lilligant super well. It can even sometimes support Heliolisk with solar power.
Which can be spooky. Can
But
be.
the nice thing is that all those Pokemon besides Lilligant are still strong on their own. Actually, Lilligant with Terra and Quiver Dance is strong on its own without the sun.
Yep.
So none of them need it. It's just like a nice bonus that Charizard provides. And then you have really nice removal in Weezing and Great Tusk to support said Charizard.
The issue is hazards, where it's Tusk, Stealth Rocks, and Weezing Toxic Spikes. That's it.
That's
That's not
Tusk
great.
is going to be really strapped for move slots because it's going to want to be spinning. It's going to want to be setting rocks. What else can it do then?
It needs stab, so like, you have to bring at least one stab, and then you're bringing one coverage at most. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
or you're not
enough.
bringing rocks or spin.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a bit sus.
But honestly, hazards are really the only issue.
Yep.
Like this is a really strong team
Speed
in
tiers are
both of our
great.
opinions.
Yep, speed
Yeah,
tiers are
speed
great.
tiers are great. Type chart works. I like having Vaporeon as sort of like a water type that doesn't need to use its water stab for damage, so its sun is not over impeding it.
Yep.
And then Ditto. Ditto stops anything that's trying to set up Sweep You.
Yep. I think the bad thing about this team is literally just the hazards. That's the only thing that's bad about this team.
The hazards are so bad, but that's it.
So,
Terra, we have Hoopa with Ghost Fighting Dark. I think those are all amazing types for it, though I'm surprised that you chose Dark instead of Fairy, because Fairy and Ghost is perfect type coverage.
yep. Lilligant has the
Um,
fairy, but Lilligant doesn't really need the fairy. Especially when it
yeah.
has rock and fire.
Yeah, you could have definitely used Ice or
Anything.
Electric or anything, or Water in that last
Yeah.
slot. Or Ground.
Oh, ground. Yeah.
Yeah, Fairy seems a little bit weird, but I guess for Stab Moonblast,
That's fun. That's always
does it
fun.
get Moonblast?
I don't. I don't know.
I think I mixed it up with Blossom. I'm not even sure if it gets
Does
Moonblast.
does does Blossom get Moonblast?
Blossom gets Moonblast because Vileplume gets Moonblast.
Right, because it evolves if. No, wait, no, wait. Why does it get Moonblast?
Lilligant does not have Moonblast. I was confusing it with Blossom. It has a luring voice though.
Right, Vileplume gets Moonblast because it's like associated with the moon in a lot of promotional material for some reason.
Yeah.
So like they just gave it Moonblast. And not Tapu Koko. Which good.
No.
Honestly good. That one is good enough as is.
You say crying because
Yeah, crying.
Pokemon doesn't have Moonblast.
Crying, wiping my tears with my electric terrain. Moving on. We have Mud.
Mud.
Who decided to pick the Uber's Pokemon turn 1. What a surprise. That being said, that this Pokemon lasted a while, so you know what? Maybe it is a surprise.
Yeah. You got a really strong offensive and defensive type chart. Kind of like no notes on it. You have great stab coverage, only missing Ghost, and defensively, you don't have any standout weaknesses.
No, surprisingly not.
The offense is strong, doesn't sacrifice bulk. I love that Slowbro Muck poor.
Cerebral Maka that's fun. That's very fun.
Yeah.
The real issues, I would say, just like the hazards and removal are like fine. Not really. No, not really. It's just Stealth Rock on Tinkaton Rhydon, and we said earlier that Great Tusk only has it was Great Tusk and Galarian Weezing. I feel like this is worse, right?
Yeah, at least you have two different types of hazards with Weezing.
Yeah. And
Um,
Stealth Rock doesn't stack, so imagine.
and then, yeah, the removal is pretty rough. It's just Zapdos. Superior very rarely wants to be running Defog, so it's mainly just Zapdos. Who's a good defogger, don't get me wrong. But a lot of responsibility on it.
Yeah. Comes with the great power. Pivots are weird. It's like good pivots, but weird, unusual pivots.
Yeah. And then I just can't explain it. The vibes of this team are off.
The
We lose
vibes.
points for
Yeah.
bad vibes.
Bad
Sorry,
vibe.
Mud.
It does not pass the vibe check. I'm sorry. Neither of us like this team, and therefore we will not give you a good point value. I'm sorry. Maybe you like this team, right? And maybe you can do good with it, but I think I don't like this team. All right, moving on to the Terra.
Yeah, part of why the vibes are off is I'm not understanding these Terras. Rhodon with water and grass, I do like both of those Terra types, but why poison?
I feel like a stab is just better.
Yeah, Stab Earthquake would be scary. Centiskorch, fire for stronger fire stab. Steel because flash fire steel, that's good. Why dark? Is the knockoff that important? Like, don't you want to have, I don't know, a better coverage type or
Ground.
Yeah, ground to resist rock. I don't know.
And Giraffrig exists. Moving on. Why normal? Give it psychic at least.
Yeah,
You
it's
already
not
have like the best normal type in the game.
exactly. I don't know why it needs Terra normal.
Yeah.
Next team we have Ranger W's team.
Yep. The Baltimore Raikus. With immediate right off the bat, two anime protagonists.
Yeah, the Zeraora and Infernape do look like they are part of two separate animes and that they'd feature on a death battle against each other.
Well, one is Sun Wukong, so. And the other...
Fair enough.
Okay, I said this, and I think I'm right when I say this. Zeraora just looks like a fusion between Ash and Pikachu. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, like no, I think that's what they were trying to do. They were hitting the furry market that liked Ash and Pikachu. Anyway, moving on.
With Ting Lu and Glamora, this team vomits hazards onto the field and then says, "Fuck you."
The type charts are really good, actually. I think there's only one thing that I don't like, and it's the fact that your rock weakness and your your rock resist and ghost resist are both Ting Lu. It's just Ting Lu, but like also it's Ting Lu, so like who gives
the bulkiest motherfucker on earth.
Yeah. I wish this got shore up. No, I don't.
That would be a ban-worthy Pokemon if it got shore up. I think you have a pretty rough speed gap specifically between Infernape and Glamora. 20 points can allow a lot of natures, a lot of extra EVs.
Especially that speed gap. Like that what's it called it? like that area is pretty dangerous to have.
Yeah, the 80 space speed to 120 B space speed is where it's most important to have your speech filled in.
Hmm. Pivots are
Um,
pretty weak sauce.
yeah, you kind of just have Zero Aura Infernape Starmie. This team will have to rely on hard switches a lot.
Starmie being able to pivot is such a weird thought to me. It's still like not registered to me that this thing can pivot now.
Yeah, it's both flip turn and teleport. It's crazy.
Crazy. Terra, where is the ground? Where is the ground, Glastrier?
Last year, where's the ground?
Where is the
We
ground?
need the ground.
We need the ground.
Um, Electric, Water, and Steel are all nice types, but where is the
Yeah,
ground?
where is the ground? Where is my ice ground coverage? And Lorantis, Contrary, Gulper.
Yeah, those are just good types fighting for the superpower. Fairy and Fire for defensively being able to set up better Leaf Storms and superpowers.
Yep,
It's good.
good shit. Moving on. Tavaka's team.
Oh yeah, we have to say good things about this team or he'll ban us.
Yeah.
Anyway, this team fucking sucks. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The type chart, as always, good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. I think this team has some really amazing pivots.
Yep.
You got Mew, Sneasler, and Amorous Rotom.
Mew.
Yeah. Um, and then your hazard setting is pretty good with Mew. Just Mew being the ultimate hazard setter.
Yep.
Very nice. Also, two turtles. That's based.
2 turtles. Both Terra. That's based.
Two Terra turtles. Two Terra turtles.
Yeah. Torterras. Anyway. Um. The speed tiers are weird. They're all grouped up, right? Look at that 1 point gap between those 3 Pokemon. Wow.
Yeah, your opponent will be able to just hit certain benchmarks and not have to speed creep you a lot. The other thing is not really like a criticism, but perhaps a lack of praise. I don't see a big X factor for this team. You don't have a way to set terrain for Sneasler's Unburden. You don't have any like particularly strong speed control or offensive combo.
Mm. I can't wait for
You do have
Mew to bring manual terrain. Anyway. Torterra, Water, Electric, Fairy. I don't get this one.
I don't understand the fairy, but
Yeah, I would have gone
and where's
for...
the rock?
Yeah, I would have gone for Rock.
Um,
Turtonator. Grass Fighting Ghost. I would have had...
I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't get the Ghost.
I don't understand Ghost. And what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I think Turtonator should have the Fairy and not Torterra.
Yeah, dragons with fairy is always good because you remove that weakness into an immunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chimecho has good types: Dark, Steel, Poison. They're good.
Yep. Levitate. Trilife J, the only person who did not send me a logo, so I had to just use the one in the dock, and it's really crusty.
At least their team makes up for how crusty the
Oh my
logo
god.
looked in this video.
This is such a good team.
This is such a team.
This is a team of all time.
This team has an amazing type chart, both offensively and defensively. It has amazing pivots. It has great hazard setting, and it has solid hazard removal.
The type
Yeah.
chart is immaculate.
like out of all the type charts we analyzed, this is the only one we put for a perfect score.
Yep. Pivots, amazing. Your stab types, all amazing. It's just everything. Everything about this team is great. I think there's like a slight weakness with the speed. Like you could be faster, but like I don't. You're still pretty fast, right? You're not
Yeah,
lagging yet. It's just
and there's
that.
definitely
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
There's definitely a few ways to boost speed too with Quaquaval, Mega Charizard, Dragon Dance, and then
Quivel.
Nihilego, Beast Boost, Scream Tail, Photosynthesis.
Yeah, Quivel dance. Sorry, not Pharaoh. That was instinctual. Quivel dance, Volcawona.
Quivo Dance, Volcalona.
Volcawona. Um. Yeah, could use another hazard remover, I think, personally, but not really at the same time. Because
Yeah,
Skarmory Defog and Volcawona Defog aren't real. They're not real.
yeah, Skarmory can defog. It just doesn't like removing its own hazards. And then also sometimes Quaquaval likes to run an offensive set and can't fit Rapid Spin.
Yeah, it needs its other speed boosting move.
Um, as for the Terra Captains, I think they're mostly good. I don't understand why Palossand is missing water as one of its types because Terra Water with water compaction can boost its defense like crazy.
Very funny.
Um, but I do really like the fairy on it. Otherwise, Lantern looks good. This is just a good team.
Yep. Liepard is a
Spoilers,
Pokemon.
team is good.
Yep, the team
Liepard is a Pokemon, that's true.
Have you heard about this? Did you know about this? Liepard is a Pokemon. It exists in the Pokemon game Black and White. But even then, that's giving it some credit. Too much credit.
Alright,
Moving on. I'm not
the
reading this
penultimate
name.
team.
I'm not reading this name.
Junior Skyraba.
A for effort.
That, that's the best I got for you.
Alright, we're sorry.
This team has rain.
It has rain. Also, we don't know why it has Gigantamax Venusaur. The doc just gives us Gigantamax even though it's Mega Venusaur.
Yeah, we typed in Mega Venusaur. That's like, oh, you mean Gigantamax?
It shows the like small icon of Mega Venusaur, but it gives us the artwork of Gigantamax. Anyway, moving on. Hazards. Good hazards.
Love me some Overquill.
I love Overquill. Removal is just okay. It's okay. Pelipper defaults, as it does for its teammates.
I really like the amount of pivots, which is important on any team, especially a rain team that has limited turns to keep up its weather. But you have Palafin, Kilowattrel, Kingdra, Pelipper,
Yep.
Pikachu. Good amount of pivots.
Pikachu. Unfortunately, I think this team is gonna have like no chance of actually winning once the rain is down and Pelipper is dead. Minus Palafin. Palafin can win in any condition. You don't need jack fucking shit to win with Palafin. You just need one turn to click bulk up.
And then also the stab coverage is a bit lacking. You don't have a fire type, which I guess makes sense because of the rain, but you don't have an ice type either, or a fighting type, or a rock, or a ghost. You're missing a couple important offensive coverage types.
Yeah. A lot of repeat types, obviously, because it's rain. But like I feel like you definitely leaned a little too hard into the rain here, which it's fun. I'm not gonna blame you for it, but yeah, the type chart does become a little sus because of it. Terra types. Water Ghost Poison. Overquill, very good.
Overquill's,
Yep.
Overquill's is good. I don't get why Farigiraf has Terra Grass. I like the fire, I like the fairy. what is Terra Grass getting you? I gotta know.
Alright. Last team. The perfect
We
team.
have the perfect team.
Yep.
Irony. I mean, like, your hazards are good, sure, but your pivots are good, sure, but you have Zarude Sandstorm. That's kind of all you need to say. That's amazing.
That's amazing. That's it. Like,
Zarude Sandstorm.
you have
Yeah,
Zarude.
this team is goated.
This is the best team that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on.
Flygon has good Terra types. Garbodor has good Terra types, but neither of them are Zarude Sandstorm, so they don't matter.
None of this matters.
On the downside, it is Zarude Sandstorm. But on the upside, it's Zarude Sandstorm.
Alright.
Anyway,
Here's
these
our
are our
rankings. Yeah. We ranked me and Frobel was like right there. We thought we were like about the same, but like it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
because we're ranking ourselves.
Yeah, besides, neither of us had Zarude Sandstorm.
Yeah, none of these teams have Zarude Sandstorm except for Ironies. I think the answer is pretty obvious. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, these are our personal rankings. That's what PR stands for, by the way, not power rankings, personal rankings.
Yeah, if you have complaints, might file it with our complaint box. It's the trash bin in the corner of your room.
Yeah, cry harder. Yeah, cope, seeth, mold. Anyway, yeah, that was our rankings. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed watching our video. Maybe you learned something about your team. Who knows? Or the team that you're fighting. You know, that could be valuable too.
Alright. Later, gamers.
Later, gamers.